Hey guys, it's Brian with the Hoppy Doxie, and I am super excited to share this video with you today because I have come up with an alternative to using E6000 for sealing and smushing glitter. And the best part is it uses all CrystaLac products. So after receiving my reducer and realizing that you can use it with the paints to be able to put it into a spray gun, I started thinking, what if we put the reducer with the Brite Tone and put it into a squirt bottle? And guess what? It totally works. For this cup, I used black and white glitter so that we have a contrast in the two colors so that we can watch to make sure that this really is sealing the glitter and we don't have any travel between the two colors. And I applied the glitter using Brite Tone and a tea strainer. Go check out my video on that if you haven't seen it yet. And then I let the glitter dry for 4 hours. So here's a close-up of the cup so that you can see where the ombre is in the middle and where the black glitter goes up a little bit into the white. I went ahead and touched the cup, and you can see that a little bit of glitter does come off on my finger. And that's one of the reasons we do this, is so that we can seal that glitter so that we capture it all on the cup. We've got good coverage with just one coat of glitter before we move on to our next steps. And then of course also so that we can smush. I use the same ratio for this as I do for my glitter application, which is 1 teaspoon of reducer for every 2.5 fluid ounces of Brite Tone. I just put a small amount that I already had mixed up into this spray bottle. It's just a standard spray bottle. I'll give you a link to some that you can get on Amazon. The squirt style is just the same as the E6000 spray. So really the application from this point forward is the same as you're going to use with the E6000. You're just replacing it with the Brite Tone and Reducer mix. Once you've used it once or twice, you will need to make sure that you clean the nozzle after you've mixed the product. So what I do is I spray it on a scrap piece of paper, and you can see here that it does kind of a stream, like a straight squirt. So I use paper towel to clean the nozzle, and then I keep a sewing pin, just a small sewing needle in my workspace, and I use that to kind of scrape away any debris that gets right at the very beginning of the nozzle, and that usually helps to clear it out. So I'll grab the pin and just kind of scrape it away, get any of that little residual amount off, wipe it off with a paper towel just to clear anything, and then you'll see when I spray it on the piece of paper, now I'm getting that full dispersed spray that you're going for. So now I'm ready to go. Make sure your work surface is protected because it is kind of a wild spray. And then I like to keep it on my turner just because I can use it without having to use my hands to hold the cup. You don't have to use it on a turner, but it does help since you're spraying to kind of self-level it a bit for any areas that you don't get. Spray it just like you would with E6000, hold it about 6 to 8 inches above the cup and just lightly spray it while the cup spins until all of the surface is covered. You don't need to do it too heavy. It's just enough to get that kind of top layer resting on the glitter so that it will seal it in without disturbing the glitter at all. So once you have it sprayed, let it spin or move it to a dry rack for about 30 to 45 minutes. And then you want to make sure that you're cleaning the nozzle and clearing the tube of your spray right away. And that just helps to keep clogs out. So turn your bottle upside down and then spray. Sometimes I spray it into the garbage can, but you can use that test piece of paper. Just spray it while it's upside down, and that will get all of the spray out and just leave air in that little tube in the bottle. And then once you're done with that, you can go ahead and wipe it down again with some paper towel, maybe put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on the paper towel to get that nozzle part completely clean, and then you can store it and it'll be ready for the next time you need to use it. But that is an important step to making sure that you get good coverage with your sprays and you don't get that solid stream. So again, I'm going to let this spin for 30 to 45 minutes and then we'll come back and do the smooshing.
Okay, so I've got my glass. It's been about a half an hour. I have some parchment paper and we're going to smush. You don't have to smush your glitter. You can stop at the Brite Tone spray and just let it dry for the full 4 hours and then start applying your Brite Tone and the glitter shouldn't move. If I'm touching it here, I'm not getting very much glitter coming off. I probably could have sealed it just a little bit better for this one, but I was rushing through it just a little bit. But anyway, so if you want to smush, you just take it with parchment paper. You can use wax paper if you want, but try to use the side that doesn't have the film on it. Parchment paper is definitely better. Or freezer paper works. Sorry, not wax paper. Freezer paper with the side that doesn't have the film on it. Wax paper has a tendency to kind of take your glitter off. I've used it before, but I don't like using it if I can avoid it. So cover it up and then push with your fingers and you'll feel the glitter flattening out underneath, kind of like crunching a little bit underneath. And that's what the purpose of this is to just flatten the glitter. So you've got a bunch of little glitter all kind of sitting on top of each other and you want to flatten it all together so that it fills in any of the gaps and it gives you a smoother finish so that you don't have, it won't drink up as much Brite Tone as you're putting on your layers and it won't take as much sanding because it will be smoother, so there will be less peaks and valleys to smooth in. So then once I've pushed it and I kind of push it on the table, okay, and that's it. Sorry, that's loud. You can see that there's really not any glitter that's fallen off. And I've got a great smushed cup, I guess, glass at this point. And I can feel just touching it. It doesn't feel as gritty. It has a softer feel to it, I guess. Less sandpapery. And I mean, it's still rough. It's not completely smooth like with Tack-It method. But there's definitely a noticeable difference between smushed and unsmushed glitter. So from here, I'm still going to let this dry another 3.5 hours. The Brite Tone that went on it does need that full time to cure. Even though I've kind of messed with it, it's always better to err on the side of caution and give yourself plenty of dry time. So this is going to sit for another 3.5 hours. In this instance, it's going to stay overnight, and then I can start to go over it and coat it with my Brite Tone and get it to smooth. So right now, this is a great option for an alternative to using E6000 or just to try and seal your glitter with something that you have on hand. So again, put it in with the reducer, 1 teaspoon for every 2.5 ounces of Brite Tone, mix it in, put it in a spray bottle, spray it on, let it sit for 30 to 45 minutes. Test it to make sure that it's not tacky or wet at all to the touch. And then you can go ahead and smush, then let it finish drying so that it gets a total of 4 hours dry time before continuing to coat in Brite Tone. And if you can see, my black glitter hasn't traveled, which is really great. I think there's 1 or 2 specks here and there that's from the paper, but all of my black glitter is still right there with my ombre. Alrighty, thanks guys.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and happy crafting!